That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to MOTN Top 10. This is Masters of the Nerdiverse Presents Top 10, where we count down our favorites from popular culture, ranging from the Mighty Smurf to the Betrod Cherylbog from Fantasmic. You've never seen Fantasmic? Go to Disneyland of your choice and watch Fantasmic. This is a public service announcement. It's awesome. There's a giant demon that floats in the background and Mickey has to destroy with the power of love and magic. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with us today for our top 10 is the Ultimo host. He is thy deliverer. He is Ozzy Austin.
Yo, hey, your ears, whack. Your hairstyle, whack. Your clothes, whack. Me, I'm tired as fuck.
I'm tired as fuck. That guy is my hero, dog. Have you ever done that in real life?
No. I've never shamed somebody so openly like that in public.
When I was an insecure high schooler, I super did that to this one guy. I was so mad. He was dating my crush, and my little Mikey brain could not handle it, dog.
Oh,
like,
Mike, no, that's so cringy.
It's the cringiest moment of my life. I was like, but look at his, his hairline, dog. Look at this guy.
You shamed somebody because you were jealous?
I was jealous, man.
Oh my God.
I learned a lesson that day.
Oh God, that's like those moments when you look back through life and want to fucking kill yourself.
Yeah, it was rough. It was one of those, is she really going out with him moments.
Oh.
And I hit that corner in 11th grade, and I was like, this bastard. I wanted to tear his head off.
This just goes to show, if you're a teenager, I am sorry. You're in the worst part of your life.
Man, you're in the worst part of your life. Your hormones are going nuts. You don't know what to do with them. Your decision making.
Once you hit 20, it gets a lot fucking better.
It mellows out. It mellows out a lot. But from like 13 to 20, that's rough road, Doug. You don't know what you're doing.
Gee, that's like the worst part of your life right there.
I learned so much that year, man.
Physically and emotionally, it sucks.
It sucks, man. It's a roller coaster. You don't know how to feel. You screaming at people. You crying. You know, you listen to Linkin Park. It's all bad, dog.
Yeah, because like when I hit 21, guess what? I got a house. Yeah.
See, I wish I was that productive. When I hit 21, I got my driver's license. I got my driver's license late, man.
Wow, that's actually kind of late.
It was late, dude, because it was broke. Dude. I didn't have a car to practice on. So
now, granted, though, I live in a relatively cheap part of the country.
I'm sure.
Relatively. I'm
sure if I grew up where you grew up, I would have had the same setup. But here in LA, for a cup of coffee, it's $10. So
whoa!
It's just that kind of life. So,
whoa! Excuse me.
But my trick is once I make all my money from my sponsors from podcasting, I will be moving to a rural part of the universe, buying a house as long as it has Google Fiber, and I'll be there for the rest of my life, dude.
Yo, as soon as we get that sponsorship money, I'm just gonna go to a Google Fiber city out in like the freaking like Northwest,
yeah,
like Washington, Oregon.
Just be up there, dog.
And I'm just gonna live there. I'm gonna spend dollar bills to like light my fire.
Yep, and I'll just be chilling forever and doing this podcasting thing. We have a top 10, and this is kind of like our Halloween version of our top 10.
Top 10 attractive monsters you want to bang, yo.
Monsters you want to sluice in the caboose, dude.
Okay, no, we're not that kind of podcast. No, for real, no. It's top 10.
Top 10 monsters, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Top 10 monsters from all forms of pop culture. So you're not just limited to movies. You can choose a monster from video games, comics, music videos, whatever you want. It's fair game for this top 10. And this one's going to work a little bit different because if you ask Mike G what his top 10 monsters were, half of them are going to be Dracula's. You know what I mean? So I love vampires. They're so cool. So what I did was we set this up. So every number is a category. So let's say number 10 is your top 10 chips. And then me and Austin will discuss our favorite chips of all time.
Exactly.
Make sense? Perfect. You ready to get this top 10 started, my good man?
Sure. So coming in at number 10.
Number 10.
It's like that. It's like those shows from the mid 2000s on Discovery and Animal Planet of top 10 deadliest predator or something such.
Dude,
like that.
it'll show you the honey badger. Like, that thing doesn't look too, and then you see it take down a grizzly. You're like, oh Jesus.
Right,
oh wow.
Starting in category 10, we have witches.
Witches.
And my bae, always number 10 for me, is Bayonetta.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Exactly.
Expand, Doug.
So
Expand.
Bayonetta, what is this girl doing? She is one, a MILF.
She is the ultimate. She's like,
But seriously though, she is powerful, she is confident, she is doing exactly what she needs to do, and my God, nothing phases her. And
isn't Bayonetta
she's
like
a magical witch.
She's an ultra magical witch. She has gun boots. She wields a katana. She is swag times 1,000.
And she wants to attack and dethrone God.
Isn't she like 9 feet tall?
No, no, she's like 6'7".
Oh, I was reading something where Bayonetta was legit like crazy tall.
No, like it's the heels and her really big hairdo in the first one, but the second one she has got those powerful short hair.
She has the pixie cut in the second one, right?
Oh yeah, and the third one, oh boy. So as we're going through this, yeah, Bayonetta's just awesome. Her like entire team, like Rodan. Oh my God, I love that big man.
Rodan rules, dude.
Yeah, best symbolism for a devil I've ever seen is Rodan.
Just chill, dude. It's like, you gonna have to do it, Bayonetta, while I light this cigar. I love Rodan.
And just occasionally, like, let's just one red eye glow.
You know what tops it off for Bayonetta? Is her posh British accent. It just
oh my God, yes.
It's that part of my brain, dude. I don't know.
And she's just got so much style. Holy hell. She's just so good. And, you know, she actually has magical hair.
And she's stupid powerful, dude. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, Bayonetta is Bay.
You know, I think this number 10 is just going to be the Bay choice, because my number one witch, my favorite witch of all time is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Oh, God. Yes. Okay. I can see why.
A lot of Bay... you know, there's a lot of Bay...
It's not like she has a revealing V-cut.
I mean, it's one of those things, and you can see a lot of Bayonetta. You can see a lot of Elvira in Bayonetta, especially the first design. Mm-hmm. You know, with the big giant bee hair. You know what I'm saying? The low cut shirt. And the thing was, Elvira was one of these things when I was a kid, and she was just on TV every night playing really bad horror movies. And I was like, is she a vampire? Is she a witch? And then me being a big nerd, I researched Elvira and learned that she's wicked powerful. She's like a crazy powerful witch.
Apparently so. Right. Weird canon can be just freaking mind-boggling sometimes.
She has like Bugs Bunny level powers, dude.
Exactly.
It's stupid.
It's like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, she's like Crypt Keeper levels. It's like when people say that Count Chocula is whack. Like, no, Count Chocula is a crazy powerful vampire, dude. He's like up there. He's up there with Vlad, Doug. Like, if you break it down, dude. Also, fun fact: did you know that Elvira created Psycho Sid, like the character from WWF?
No.
She made Psycho Sid in the lab, and he broke out and joined the WWE.
This kayfabe stuff is too much from wrestling sometimes, man.
It's legit. There's a video of one of her kind of like commercial breaks where she has Psycho Sid under like a Frankenstein like table, and she starts to take off the cover, and Psycho Sid just rips it off and goes into a promo, dude.
Okay, that's so much. It's so much.
Elvira created Psycho Sid, and Psycho Sid's one of my favorite wrestlers. So there you go. I can't non-defeatable, dude. And plus, Elvira had like a bunch of crazy movies, and that actress is who plays Elvira is just the sweetest woman on earth, man. So out of all fictional witches, it's Elvira. And after this, we'll do some honorable mentions, but Elvira's number one.
I mean, should we just like go through honorable mentions while we're just like going through the lists?
It makes sense. All right, pick one honorable mention.
Geez, I'm not too sure if I'm just put on the spot like that.
Hey, it's your idea, bro. Let's rock with it. Honorable mention.
I don't know very many witches, man.
That's fine. Just don't pull one out of your head.
I'll have to like just go with freaking Blair Witch from the Blair Witch Project then.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go with that weird green witch from Looney Tunes. You know, the ones that Bugs Bunny fights. And she goes, every time she's like, Cecil, and she thinks about it for a second and laughs, and like hair curlers like fall out of her hair when she runs.
I can see that. I can see that.
And she created that giant orange monster with the freaking All-Stars on, dude. What was his name? Gelsimer or something like that? Can't remember.
I could not tell you.
Bruh. She was awesome. Very,
okay, so
number 9.
Let's go to number 9, which is Kaiju. And,
Kaiju.
I mean, there's like no option. There's no option for this on me. It's just gonna be Godzilla.
I mean, that's the low-hanging fruit, man. Godzilla, man. That's number 9.
What else is there besides Godzilla? Just Godzilla, boy. Just God fucking Zilla.
Godzilla. I mean, what can we say about Godzilla that hasn't already been said? He's the king of the monsters. He's the best. He shoots fire. He's friend. He's foe. He's the world's first anti-hero. Metaphor for military might after the bombing of Hiroshima. Well, Godzilla
is just like there's nothing to really do besides Godzilla, because Godzilla is just literally the best kaiju monster because he's so awesome, especially with like the English remakes they did recently.
Yeah, the Gareth Edwards stuff. It's really good. It's really strong, dude.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the first one, especially like the one that came out like 2016, I think.
Yeah, and this is a loaded kind of section because it's like, okay, who's your favorite Superman? Superman.
Yeah, it's really hard to truly dig into because there's very little else you can go with.
And it's funny we're in the same thought because you like yours is Godzilla, and that's not wrong. My number 9, my favorite giant monster is King Ghidorah, dog.
Oh, King Ghidorah?
King Ghidorah, dude. Monster Zero, man.
Monster Zero, like space fucking tyrant, is amazing.
So cool, man. So cool that he was the first. You know, being a comics kid, I love the one villain versus the team. Like, okay, we have to fight Apocalypse. It's just going to take the whole X-Men to beat Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
And it's like King Ghidorah is this force of nature. That's like, okay, everybody from Destroy All Monsters has to fight King Ghidorah, and they might lose. Like King Ghidorah, that golden serpent, that old worm, dude. Like, just he strikes such a beautiful like silhouette. First of all,
I mean it's just so hard to not like King Ghidorah. He's just the OG.
Oh, I mean, fun fact, one reason I really love King Ghidorah, or Ghidorah, you could be pronounced either way, is that he has a cameo in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I didn't know that.
There's a scene, I want to say it's Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where there's a scene where Godzilla's fighting Ghidorah and Pee-wee runs across the set. It's
oh my
cool.
God, I didn't know that.
And those little cameos is like what cements things for me. Like, okay, King Ghidorah's the best. 3-headed monster. Godzilla, of course, is like a strong number 2, but I've always loved King Ghidorah. He's always been my favorite.
I mean, I will have to say, though, for an honorable mention for me, I would kind of go for a different track and go for an entire video game. Yeah. Which was War of the Monsters.
War of the Monsters, man.
I played that game for like a solid 1.5 to 2 years.
It was in arcades, wasn't it? Wasn't it in arcades, War of the Monsters?
I can't tell
I remember playing it on Super Nintendo.
Rampage is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, Rampage. Okay, Rampage. I'm thinking of Rampage.
War of the Monsters is like this PS2 era, like just open range city destruction / monster fighter game. And it was the best because it did basically third-party IP monsters that's not Godzilla or that's not Mazinger Z or anything like that.
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember it very fondly. That was the game where you can it was like an arena fighter, wasn't it? It was like you can have like up to 2 or 3 people.
Yes. Thank you. That's what the word for it is. Arena fighter.
Yeah, you can wander around the stage and stuff like that and walk in the water.
And you can like pick up beams and poles from buildings and whatnot and just chunk them at other players. It was the best monster fighter game. That's like I have to put like that right behind honorable mention because it's just a kaiju of video games, essentially, for me.
Okay, like I have a jokey honorable mention and I have a serious honorable mention. I'm gonna go with the jokey one just for the reference. My honorable mention for kaiju is, of course, Dinosaur Neil from The Tick.
Oh,
Dinosaur Neil rules. This episode where Arthur's daughter Arthur's sister Dot is getting married to Neil. Neil once turned into a giant kaiju, but then I think Chairface Chippendale poisons him, so he turns into the giant kaiju again. So the tick has to be swallowed by him, pill form, go in and remove the ganglion that triggers the transformation, and has to jump out before Dinosaur Neil shrinks back to a human. And I just like this idea of this man in a giant suit as an actual kaiju. Dinosaur Neil rules. He's my honorable mention.
That is pretty funny. I have to admit, that's pretty good.
And of course, Clover from Cloverfield. That's it. So,
you barely know anything about that monster. I'm not even like gonna.
I just know it was a baby, and I think a newborn giant monster just freaking out and destroying a city is kind of an interesting idea. Number 8. We're on number 8.
For me, it is the aliens from Arrival.
Aliens.
A movie about.
Aliens.
Yes, sorry. We're number 8 category is aliens, and for me, that would be the aliens from Arrival, a movie about transcendental communication and cyclical futurism.
Arrival, isn't that the one with Charlie Sheen?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the one where the aliens are like these octopus-looking things, and they teach you how that the future is the present, is the past.
Yes.
And by learning this language, you learn how to time travel, kind of crazy stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Through learning this language that it's all about circles and deviations of circles, you perceive time throughout all tenses of time.
That's a tripping movie, dude. I remember watching that.
Best.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to be a time travel movie when I went into it. And it's just that kind of extraterrestrial film you don't get a lot, or it's mostly procedural. Like, okay, how would this actually work out? Right? Who can we tap to be our communications person to try to communicate with this thing? And isn't that with like a Forrest Whitaker? Is he in that? I think. Am I tripping?
I
know Jeremy Renner's in it, right?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner is in it, and I think Forrest Whitaker is actually in it too. I have to double check. But...
And what's her face from Superman?
Yes, Lois Lane.
Lois Lane from Superman is the main character, right?
Correct.
Yeah, those aliens are super good. I always like a good, benevolent alien that's just trying to upgrade us. You know what I mean? That's trying to level us up. You know what I mean? Because those are harder stories to tell than scary alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the alien that comes out. It's like, okay, can you guys get your shit together enough for me to for us to teach you how to level up and be good, upstanding, members of the universe. I always like those stories, kind of like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's like aliens are trying to get us on point.
Exactly.
My favorite alien, and it's kind of it kind of hit me obvious, kind of like how your Godzilla hit you, it's the Predator. It's the Predator, dude.
I can see that. The Predator is kind of classic. Iconic
creature from the stars who just wants a good fight. You know what I mean? He just wants a good fight. He's in it. He's bodied. He was a basement king on this planet. He got tired of bodying his constituents. He came to Earth on the years it's mostly hot and fought Arnold Schwarzenegger and he fought 2 governors in the jungles over the course of a day.
That is true. And in Concrete Jungle, it just gets way more funny.
Yeah, and in freaking Predator 2, he fights the Jamaican voodoo posse, dog.
Oh God, those freaking Scorpion Lords.
The Scorpion Lords. El Scorpio is ready. The Predator what makes the Predator cool is that he's a sportsman. And he's intelligent. And and the Predator understands and doesn't necessarily communicate, but there's an unspoken rule that it follows. Right?
Yes.
If you're not a combatant on the field, I don't care about you. I'm not going to do anything to you. The second you pick up a gun, you're on the playing field and you're huntable. You know what I mean? You may not be my target, but the second you pick up a gun, you're in the game. You're playing with me now. And that was super neat to me, not to mention the ridiculous design by Stan Winston and his people. Iconic mask, and the mask reveal, and it gives you this crazy, otherworldly, scorpion-looking face. You know what I mean? the Predator with all his trinkets and weapons, and Predator and Predator 2 are some of my favorite movies of all time. You know what I mean? Because they just build the lore of the Predators and how they like, and the Predator 2, you see the whole, like, you see like a hunting party. You see the hunt master. He's wearing like a cape. He's like a predator with a cape on. It's the realest thing ever. And he gives him a gun from like 1876. Like, how long have you guys been at this, dog?
Yeah.
He gives him like freaking Wild Bill's gun or some shit.
Yeah, freaking Predators are a trip. And
Predators are a trip canonically. They're just a fascinating character.
Movies, the most recent movies aren't really that great, but they were like kind of like pulpy, entertaining kind of movies.
You can make the Predator as cerebral or as, like you said, pulpy as you want, and that's a very good flexibility to have for the property, I think.
Yeah. So I say for honorable mentions, I have to go with the Krogan from the Mass Effect universe.
Krogans are cool, dude. Little chunky boys, dog. Little
chunky immortal space turtles.
Yeah, chunky boys, dog. They remind me of like Ben Grimm, the ever loving blue eyed thing. From the Fantastic Four. They're just like these grumpy Yancey Street, big toughs,
I love big toughs that have like a heart of gold, like you see for most of the characters that the player relates to.
Yeah.
Like Rex and Grunt and whatnot and so forth. So I kind of love that stereotype. And in the multiplayer, I played Krogans a lot for those games.
Mm-hmm. Dude, my honorable mention goes to the Borg from Star Trek. The Borg terrified me as a kid.
The assimilation of all things into they're a non-entity is kind of a terrifying concept.
Yeah, and the idea that Q brought the Borg to Picard to give him the ultimate test, and Picard inevitably failed that test. It was just scary to me. Like, okay, Superman, here's Darkseid. Try to punch the problem away. You can't. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work. And as a kid, you're like, man, the untouchable Captain Picard in the undefeatable Enterprise just got bodied by this thing.
And then Q does the ultimate sacrifice, and
yeah. So the Borg of
it was Data. Sorry, it was Data who did that shit.
Yeah, Data took one for the team. If you've never seen First Contact, you'll watch that and you'll figure out what I'm talking about. Ultimate Wingman. Dude, number 7, Mad Scientists. Who's your favorite Mad Scientist?
This took me a while because I was unsure of really where to go with Mad Scientists because I don't really know a whole lot of them and they don't really stick out to me that much.
Yeah.
So I had to like really dig down deep, and I kind of went with, how about this? The Night Surgeon from Repo the Genetic Opera.
I can't even think of the last time I saw the Genetic Opera, dude. The Night Surgeon.
It is a fucking pulpy opera. Let's be completely honest. Yeah. This is not a highbrow like musical. This is that's stupid but funny.
Yeah. Tell me more about this Night Surgeon.
The Night Surgeon is the guy who is just like, oh, I'm retired. I don't really want to do that much. And he's like, yo, I remember killing and cutting people up because they didn't pay the 90-day leniency fee. So I'm just going to fucking take out that heart or liver or whatever they bought and put it back in good old corporate America's hands.
Man, he's like the Captain America of Medicare, Medicaid.
Yeah, he's like one of the main characters in the film / opera, and it's kind of just hilarious. I just love that stuff so much,
dude.
But I mean, there's not really a whole lot to build off of because he's not really a whole lot. But for a close honorable mention / honestly tie, in my opinion, is Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You just watched that, didn't you? Didn't you just watch Rocky Horror?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was like, I love this a lot.
Dream it, be it, dog.
Don't dream it. Or like, friggin' just, you better wise up, Janet Weiss. Yeah. God, Tim Curry can actually sing.
Tim Curry's a national treasure, dog. Number 9 for me, Mad Scientist. I went with Herbert West.
It'd be 8, bud. 8.
Oh, number 8. I'm sorry. Number 7. We're on number 7.
What? Oh, shit. It is 7. Damn it.
Coffee needed. Need meat badly. Mad Scientist, number 7. Herbert West. Reanimator.
Reanimator.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow, 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 wow.
It's hard to remember sometimes that it's based off of an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah, it's based off of like I don't know which one. It's not In the Mouth of Madness, but it has heavy Lovecraft, old ones ties, even though the film itself doesn't really spell that out very hard.
Oh, it's just literally called Herbert West Reanimator. That's the story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Reanimator, dude. Herbert West is probably the most, horror movie wise, he's the most driven mad scientist I've ever seen. Herbert West will sacrifice life and limb for his research in his constant crusade to just create immortality in a bottle. And he gets damn close because he makes some of the most wretched, insane, not zombies I've ever seen in movies, man. Like, these things aren't necessarily zombies because they don't crave human flesh, but they maintain a semblance of their own personality. They're just in pain, reborn humans who are just really mad that they're woken back up.
Yeah, it's H.P. Lovecraft's take on the Frankenstein story. But
yes.
Tactic.
And Herbert West is just, he's so sharp that he stands out. He's a sharp knife in a drawer full of unsharpened pencils. This guy.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
You know what I mean? He just cuts through everybody else and gets what he wants and will kill to further his own research, almost like Captain Ahab looking for, his white whale. He's like, he's so close, he could taste it, but things keep getting in his way. And they built an entire series on this man trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's just, in my honorable mention for mad scientist goes to Dexter from Dexter's Lab.
Oh,
Dexter rules, man.
That's actually a smart choice, I admit. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, Dexter, dude. Like, he's a little mad scientist. He built some kind of, like, missile silo under his house where he does all his cool experiments. And Dee Dee is constantly getting in his way, which I think is just a metaphor for his own id kind of getting in his way and keeping him from greatness. Dexter, secure but insecure kind of young scientist where he gets it from, I have no idea, because both of his parents don't even seem like they look like him. Nevertheless, well, he kind of looks like his mom, I guess, in a weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dexter's super crazy, ultra intelligent. And of course, he gave me something I say every day, which is, what is it? I super forgot. Podcast jitters. I'll remember later in the episode. Let's get to number 6.
So for me, number 6 is zombies.
Favorite zombie.
Walking corpses that should always just die.
The undead.
For me, it's actually Big Daddy Zombie from Land of the Dead.
Oh yeah, the zombie who was the gas station attendant.
Yeah, who basically starts coming to kind of sentience and teaching other zombies how to use tools and items.
Yeah, he militarizes the zombie plague.
Yeah,
and they storm. Yeah,
it is actually, he's like the best part of that entire like movie. Honestly, is Big Daddy, because he actually like responds to like zombies being tortured and whatnot with like anger and vitriol. It's like,
yeah,
yo, a sentient zombie, I love this shit.
Yeah, the zombies are marching to, I think it's like what's the name of it, like Evergreen or something, the name of their kind of fort, which is kind of like corporate America fort.
I forgot what it's like. It's somewhere in Pittsburgh or something like that. I forgot what it is. But
and Big Daddy sees other zombies get taken out during the siege, and he like weeps, he like cries in a weird zombie way and gets mad.
Starts using guns and teaches other zombies to use guns. And it's like, oh, that's
there's this scene where they're trying to get to a fence, right? And Big Daddy takes like a hatchet, and he gives the hatchet to another zombie, puts the hatchet on the wall and points at it, and then the zombie just starts hacking away at that. And it's like, dude, this guy needs to go. This zombie is way too
powerful.
He's way too organized. Next thing you know, he's going to be like switching out like he's going to be switching out like alternators and starters and like pickup trucks, dude. The zombie is way too on point, dude. That's a very good choice.
And for an honorable mention, I'd have to kind of go with Emily from the Corpse Bride movie.
Oh, that's a good choice.
It's just a very nice little kind of grim, dark movie, but honestly, I just kind of love it.
Dude, that's a good choice. Corpse Bride, another Tim Burton, Johnny Depp vehicle. Helena Bonham Carter, those those three were like, Three's Company for a while.
Like you're just pretty sure that Tim Burton flirts with Johnny Depp through Helena Bonham Carter.
And she's the conduit, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
When Tim Burton wants Johnny to do another movie, Helen calls.
Exactly.
That's how that works. So me and Tim were thinking, Johnny's like, bet, get me out this house. Let's do it. My favorite zombie, number 6. Unconventional pick, but I had no choice. This was embedded in my DNA. My favorite zombie of all time is Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. A lot of people don't know what that is.
That is very unconventional, and honestly, it can be argued pretty hard, but I'll allow it. That makes sense. I can see it.
Bernie is a zombie. He may not want flesh. He may not say brains, but Bernie is up. He's moving around. He's getting into trouble. His body is being contorted and thrown and destroyed. That would kill a normal man, but it doesn't matter because Bernie's already dead. You know what I mean? And he's just bobbing. And the origins of Bernie go back to old school kind of Caribbean zombies.
Oh, yeah.
He's more of a Caribbean zombie where they destroy your brain and you're just like a servant to whomever woke you. He's more of that than, let's say, a conventional Romero zombie. But a zombie nonetheless. And I love Weekend at Bernie's 1 and 2, or one of those movies that were just on all the time in my household. So I remember seeing Bernie just kind of with the shades on, just kind of dancing and walking down the streets like a conga line. And him get hit by a bus or something and fly to like a pack of bananas. It's like Bernie rules. He's not defeatable, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So my number 6 zombie is Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. And I would say more serious runner up is probably the torso zombie from Return of the Living Dead. Why do you eat? The pain of being dead. That gross elderly woman zombie with the torso who's actually having a conversation.
Yeah.
With the group, and they're like, she just keeps screaming brains. Like, why do you eat brains? She's like, it makes the pain go away. And that's the most you're ever gonna get out of a zombie, dude.
I mean, it makes sense.
She rules, and it's just a good effect. And you see her spinal cord slapping on the table, and like you can see like bone marrow coming out of it. It's gross, dude. Mm-hmm. And she's a super old zombie. It's just like, yeah, being alive is the worst when you've already been dead once. Nobody wants to be a refried bean. You know what I mean? So that's my number 6. Number 5, Ghosts.
Ghosts. It's Ghosts.
Ghost.
So honestly, Ghost is kind of a hard thing to
Ghost was super tough for me. I couldn't figure it out.
Here's one for me. My top Ghost is Freddy Krueger.
That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Because he is a straight up ghost, y'all.
Yeah, in all intents and purposes, Freddy's a ghost.
Yeah, and it's just like Freddy went from being kind of serious back in the day to kind of just jokey near like movie 3 onwards. And then the remake happened and that was bad. We don't talk about that. But yeah, Freddy Krueger, straight up just a ghost. He's straight up just a haunting ass ghost in people's dreams, yo.
Did you watch New Nightmare where he became scary again?
I did not.
Watch New Nightmare. It takes the piss out of the entire series, and it's the last film that was directed by Wes Craven for that series.
No, that's the one where he transcends the actual movie into
It's all super meta. Like there's a scene where Freddy goes on Oprah or something stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I remember. I actually saw that one. It's actually pretty interesting, I have to admit.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on the character. Freddy. Okay, are you team he didn't do it? Or are you team he did do it in regards to the kids?
He 100% admitted he did it because he
did it, right?
He admitted it in like movie 2. Jesus.
Yeah,
yes.
He's like, it super went down.
Who says he didn't do it?
Though in the remake they leave it open.
Oh, bullshit. He did it.
In the remake they leave that shit open, dude.
No, that's oh god. I didn't even watch all the remake. I just stopped halfway through.
Yeah, the remake makes it super like disambiguous. Like you don't know. Oh, but in the OG series, yeah, he's like, yeah, they had every right. I was a horrible person, but guess what? I'm worse now. because now I'm incorporeal.
So stupid. God, I'm glad I didn't watch that ass movie. Jesus.
Nah, man. All those Platinum Dunes remakes were garbage, dude.
So anyway, going on to my second choice, honorable mention would be actually Ghostface from Spirited Away.
You're picking unconventional ideals, and I love it.
Yeah, so those who don't know, Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away, Ghostface is the big black shadow one with the white
face. Yeah.
Who becomes a pure glutton and tries to impress oh God, what's her name? Ironic, because she forgets her own name too.
That's ironic.
Fuck. So the Ghostface is like a secondary character who becomes a good friend of the main protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't remember her name. Crap, that sucks. Anyway, Ghostface is fun, cute, and honestly just kind of harmless for the most part, and enjoyable, in my opinion.
Very nice. My number one ghost, for that matter, number 5. It's the ghost with the most, baby. It's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the number 1 ghost of all time. He literally calls himself the ghost with the most. Titular film came out right when I was young and impressionable. Michael Keaton is 2 characters. He's Batman. He's Beetlejuice. That's
Michael Keaton has a range. He has a
range. Nice effing model. Honk honk. Beetlejuice can only be summoned if you mention his name 3 times, which is an invocation, which makes me think on some level he's demonic, but he says he's a ghost, so he's a ghost. Iconic black and white, striped suit, crazy look. He went to Juilliard, according to him, at some point in his life. Also has Bugs Bunny level powers, can just do whatever he wants. Once he's unleashed, he does have limiters when he's not summoned, and he's in that weird, the recently deceased universe, our parallel plane. He hates sandworms, as you should too.
Yeah. Beetlejuice, I mean, God, remember the animated series too?
That was so good. Remember the intro to the animated series?
Yeah, that's
so good. It's so oh, you just jacked me up. I think the cartoon affected me more than the actual movie, because I used to watch that cartoon all the time. That and All Real Monsters were some of my favorite horror-based cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's why Beetlejuice is my number 1, because he just burned into my psyche. That whole movie, shake, 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 you know what? Shake your body, right? Work, senora. Work it all the time. It's the best movie ever. Watch Beetlejuice if you have a chance to watch it during this spooky season.
Yeah, I remember like man, that time in TV was so weird, because we had Beetlejuice, the animated series. We had Men in Black, the animated series.
Men in Black.
Even Ghostbusters, the animated series.
The real Ghostbusters is my favorite cartoon of all time. No, it's second. It's my second favorite cartoon of all time. Number 1 is Batman, the animated series. But
oh God, man. It was kind of weird how they had like successive media kind of like make sequels that were almost better than the main material sometimes.
Yeah, the cartoons were the sequels to the movies that the movies were never going to get. You know what I mean? So the timeline continued in just this weird, funky way. Like even Matthew Broderick's Godzilla got a cartoon sequel.
Ugh, that was
not that great. But my honorable mention is Casper, the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, everyone considers that because it's just such a mainstay, honestly.
I love Casper. Casper, especially
Will he ever come back?
No. He was in a commercial recently, which put him top of mind for me. He's like in this weird Geico commercial where he comes back. You know what I mean? It's just like, I want more Casper. I don't know why.
That's freaking bizarre, but okay.
Yeah, Casper was this old cartoon, I think Flesher cartoon back in the day. And I like Casper because he's equal parts adorable, equal parts tragic. You know what I mean? There's something inherently tragic about Casper, the Friendly Ghost.
Remember, like, freaking the movie that came out in 1995
with Christina Ricci? Yeah,
yeah,
that movie was so cool because it was groundbreaking special effects at the time. And the effects on Casper and his 3 evil uncles or whatever their situation was insane. Yeah. And that was just the summer of Christina Ricci.
And then you have Casper meets Wendy the Witch.
Yes.
And that wasn't that great.
No. This is during the fall of Casper. But when I think Ghost, I think Casper. I don't know why. It's just one of those
Casper was pretty fun, even though his uncles kind of looked like KKK members back in the 1940s comics.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure they were. Casper lives in a sundown town.
Oh, God.
Holy shit. Is that what happened?
So, anyway.
How did Casper die?
I think he died in a car accident.
Right? And he drowned?
I do not know the freaking lexicanum of Casper lore.
I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure there's some Reddit thread that breaks down the last moments of Casper, whatever his last name is.
Number 4.
Good old mummies.
Also super hard.
Yep. I had a hard time with mummies. I kind of copped out on my answer. I feel bad about it. And I have to figure out.
Let me guess. It's Imhotep the Mummy from the Mummy series?
Which mummy series, though?
The first, I think, 2.
Because Imhotep is actually the name of the mummy in the old Universal movies.
Well, you mean like the 1940s, 50s?
Yeah, the not Bela Lugosi, but the old he played Frankenstein. His name is, dang it.
All right, I'm just gonna go with Brandon Fraser mummy movies.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's him. So it's Imhotep, dude.
Imhotep. I mean, there's like, what else can you do? Because he was actually kind of a badass in those series.
Yeah, and he was understandable. He was coming from he was coming from a good place. Imhotep.
No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he wasn't. No,
he was doing it for love, Doug.
Because no, man, no, he did a whole bad stuff.
He did a lot of bad stuff for the love of Naxunamun.
I mean, the way he went about things, like whenever Bunny went, Lord Imhotep thanks you for your tongue and your continued contribution to his revival.
Yeah, man. Benny
that was actually pretty great.
Benny was a little shit, Doug.
I love Benny. He's such a good cretin.
Benny's one of my favorite underlings of all time, because Benny was just he had that chain with all those different like deity symbols on it.
Just goes through
and he runs through them. Yeah, I love that scene, dude. He's like, look, he just starts choosing. He's like, any deity that'll help in this moment. I think that's such a clever scene.
Then Imhotep goes, the language of the slaves.
The language of the slaves. I can use you. Which is so brutal.
Like, oh my God. No.
So brutal, dude. No, not like this.
So here's your tricky question. What about your runner-up? Because I have one.
My runner-up from Imhotep, which was tough, but I'm going to go with Anakaris from Darkstalkers.
Oh my God. Okay.
The giant mummy character from the fighting game, Capcom's Darkstalkers.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Because he's cool. And he has cool moves, and he'll turn you into like an alternate sprite if his little mummy thing zaps you.
All right, so
he's a grappler.
So here's a better answer, Mike.
No, you can't defraud my answer. Anakaris rules.
Mum Ra from the Thundercats.
Oh my God.
Beat you. I fucking beat you.
You win this round, Austin.
Because Mum Ra was hilarious as a villain.
Damn you, Gadget. Mum Ra is the best mummy of all time. Okay.
Just a badass mummy sorcerer that can't look at his own reflection or else he gets depowered.
Can I have a second just to do something real quick?
Sure.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mum Ra, the ever-living. And then he becomes all buff and shit and socks out cats.
Yeah, that was honestly, Mum Ra is like hilarious because he's like a mummy lord, but just so cool.
He's he's like the most higher echelon mummy I've ever seen.
It's hilarious how like overpowered he is at times. Then he's like, "Oh no, a mirror."
Because isn't he like a lich? Is he just technically just a lich?
Basically a lich, yeah.
Yeah, because there's different levels of mummy, right? Like Imhotep has nothing on Mum Ra. Mum Ra can literally shoot Emperor Palpatine level like electricity from his fingers and stupid shit like that, dude. Like,
Imhotep also caused a desert sandstorm with a face of his own on a sandstorm that was like 5 stories tall. So
wasn't that the coolest thing ever, though?
Yeah. Then the rock became a scorpion.
And then the rock became a scorpion, and we all collectively lost that year.
Yeah, that was hilariously bad. Okay, so
number 3,
mummies. We're moving onwards. From Mum Ra.
From Mum Ra, the ever-living, Doug.
Werewolves.
Werewolves was easy and tough. Easy and tough at the same time.
Easy and tough at the same time, yes. So you can go with a whole lot of, honestly, bad and honestly great answers at the same time.
Yep.
Um,
and this is number 3, mind you. This is number 3 on the list.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much because there's really good examples and there's also just god awful examples.
Yeah, there's some bad werewolves out there, man.
I mean, for me, I'm just going to have to go ahead and just say that my top. Oh boy, my top werewolf was Benicio del Toro in The Wolfman movie.
Okay, that wasn't a bad remake. It's not the worst remake. I'll put it that. Yeah,
because the werewolf, in my opinion, is supposed to be like both the man and the monster at the same time. It's a singular character.
Yeah,
and honestly, I kind of like the Benicio del Toro portrayal of it.
Yes, he played it. He played it straight. He played Talbot as a tortured soul and it was out of his control. He played it like Don Chaney did back in the day, Lon Chaney rather, where he was just really outside of his control, and the man looks like the type of dude who will turn into a werewolf, so it kind of balances out, And Anthony Hopkins was really good in that movie too.
Oh god, Anthony Hopkins was fantastic.
Yeah, I like a good werewolf transformation. That's kind of one of my favorite things in horror is watching a werewolf go through it. What's your honorable mention?
Honestly, it's gonna be a bit of a weird one. I'm gonna have to go with like Remus Lupin from Harry Potter.
That's not weird at all. That's if I could pick Bernie for my zombie, you could definitely pick Lupus.
Oh, iZombie. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I will have to say though that it's interesting in Harry Potter because there's like very different levels of werewolf. Mm-hmm. Because Lupin in Harry Potter, he's like a sickly, gangly, very timid creature that doesn't want to do anything and reflects in his werewolf form. Because in werewolf form, that's what he is. But in a human adult form, he's more civilized, restrained all the time, all the fun stuff. Then you have characters like Fenrir Greyback, who is the werewolf like evil leader who runs with Voldemort. Yeah. And he's just straight up brutal, crazy, muscular as all hell, and apparently just destroys in like his werewolf form in the actual like literature series, because you don't ever see it in the movie, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good picks.
Well, shit, makes me think of Underworld now. Underworld's different. That's
my honorable mention. I might as well go into my honorable mention now, because my honorable mention is Lucian.
Well,
the werewolf leader from Underworld.
That is actually a really good pick, I have to admit now. I forgot all about that series until I just remembered it in my dialogue.
People say, people always ask you, what horror movie monster would you want to be, right? Do you want to be a mummy? Do you want to be the zombie? Do you want to be the creature of the Black Lagoon? And it's like, certain werewolves have it rough, but the Underworld werewolves are really cool. You know what I mean?
I'd rather just be an Underworld werewolf. Man, shit, that'd be great.
Because they can control it. And they're in full control when they're in werewolf mode.
And they still live hundreds of years.
And they still live infinite, and they don't have to worry about sunlight. Lucian was cool because I liked his backstory. He dared to fall in love with the Capulet, given that he's a Montague. If for those who are picking up what I'm laying down,
exactly.
He was played by, I think, Michael. What's his name? Michael Sheen. No.
I'm not sure about.
He's a Sheen. I can't remember his name. He's a really good actor. And this is like an action movie. And the werewolves in that movie are so cool looking, and their transformations are so cool looking. And they're like, if Lucian wanted, he could be a werewolf in battle armor if he wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the first Underworld movie is pretty solid. It's not like highbrow, but it's like, oh, this is entertaining. Kind of like
it's a comic book movie. Yeah, it's a comic book movie.
The ones afterwards are pretty garbage, though.
Yeah, Underworld. I was about to call it Underworld Revolutions.
I remember the second one, and it's just like, oh, hey, it's the first vampire and the first werewolf and the first ever immortal. And
they're all whack. They're all garbage.
Wow, they're all fucking garbage.
Anywho, that's my honorable mention. My top werewolf, of course, is Michael Jackson from Thriller.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me, I think, before, and I kind of forgot about it till just now.
It's literally the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life as a kid. It's fucking Michael Jackson in full werewolf makeup, just screaming into a camera, looking right at you. It's the most terrifying thing in the world. Go away! And then homegirl screams, and he goes, yeah! And he starts to transform, and he does that great freaking Rick Baker transformation. You know what I mean? Where his hands extend and his ears grow. He has these crazy yellow contacts in. And it's just too much. It was too much for our brain to handle when I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? The Michael Jackson werewolf is the best, dude.
And all kinds of costume people like put that stuff on that makes it look a whole lot better too. But like that one moment where he goes, "Go away," and his like, it's not even contacts, man. It's like just straight up, just like eyepieces put over his eyelids.
Yeah, literally eye covers. And I heard they were so uncomfortable. Like Mike was dying wearing those things. And he was like, I hated it, but it's only for like a couple scenes. But then he has like that mouthpiece in where his teeth start freaking out. I was not ready, dude. It was like MTV on a Sunday evening with my mom and dad. We're all sitting around the TV, and I literally have a conniption fit watching that movie, watching that video. It was all downhill from there, man. Forget Exorcist. It's Michael Jackson's Thriller. That's the scariest moment of my life.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
So, Michael Jackson, werewolf, number 3. Number 2, vampires. Who's your favorite vampire of all time?
Okay, so for me, this is a pretty easy choice. I'm going to go to the anime realm, blah, can't speak.
Can't speak.
Yeah, it's Alucard from Hellsing.
Alucard from Hellsing is
just
pretty OP.
So good.
Alucard,
Alucard is just the best freaking thing. Oh my god, he is legit the best vampire because it's not like he's not weak in any way, and he's not like frivolous. He's just having a good time as he just kills people as a vampire. He doesn't even bother being a vampire half the time. He just like enjoys being just an archetypal monster.
This is not my honorable mention, but when I think Alucard, I think of Slayer from Guilty Gear, where they're so powerful that they're nonchalant about it. He's like, whatever. I'm here. I'm here. I'll do the job because it's something to do. Don't ever think that I'm doing this because I need to or because you have some hold over me. Alucard is busted. I've seen episodes where they've shot him to pieces and he just became Shadow.
Yeah. I mean, it's better.
Man.
Right. It's really good. It's really good in freaking the Ultimate Edition, essentially, where they do like a shot-for-shot remake of the manga series back in the day. Mm-hmm. It's just so good because he's not in any way like fucking around.
No, Alucard doesn't have time for it, and he makes that very apparent. He never plays with his food. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even when he's fighting more of the tougher guys, he's still in full control. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's a very hard thing to pull off, you know?
And honestly, the entire Hellsing series is something you just should watch because it's hilariously fun.
Watch Hellsing.
Great.
Just watch Hellsing.
So my honorable mention is the complete opposite. It's What We Do in the Shadows with Laszlo, the TV series.
Thank you. I was hoping you would mention What We Do in the Shadows, and you didn't disappoint me. Thank you. Good stuff.
Freaky deaky freaking Laszlo. Laszlo is the best character. He is legit the best. Especially when he's just yelling out "bat" and just transforms into a bat and just God, I love Laszlo so goddamn much. Literally the best.
Watch the TV series too. I heard the TV series is really good too. But watch the movie of What We Do in the Shadows. It's a great little tongue in cheek, piss take on vampires and werewolves and pretty much the Knights of the Macabre, good stuff. You're thinking about it, aren't you?
Yeah, I might have to go rewatch some of that stuff recently because the season 2 was hilarious in every way.
You're playing it back in my head.
All right.
My number 2, my favorite vampire of our time. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I want to educate. To quote the great podcast Horror 101, I want to educate your fears on one of my favorite vampire portrayals of all time. And it's Marie from a movie called Innocent Blood. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Innocent Blood. It's an older 90s vampire movie. Think The Punisher meets Goodfellas meets vampires.
Okay.
All right, so this is pretty much Marie's thing. So Marie is a vampire in New York City, right? Pretty powerful. She's super strong because does the whole interview the vampire teleport thing. You know what I mean?
Is she like Eddie? Sorry, is she like Eddie Murphy vampire levels at a Vampire in Brooklyn?
No, she's not that busted. She can't like shape shift and all the crazy stuff that Eddie Murphy was doing in that movie. That's next.
I'm sorry, that movie is so hilarious to me in every way.
That's Count Chocula levels of busted, dude. She's not. No, she's not like I'm going to turn into vapor and leave the room, kind of like stupid magical nonsense. She's like Blade, right? She's like Blade, where Marie is this vampire living in New York, and the way she satisfies her hunger is that she goes out and kills mob bosses. She kills mob soldiers for the Italian mob.
Right.
So her whole thing is that she will not shed innocent blood. She only hunts those bad guys who are ruining the neighborhood or are heavies working for the mob and are any kind of gang relation. That's who she hunts. The movie's about her accidentally biting the main mob boss, like the Al Capone, right? But she doesn't kill him. He ends up turning. And then it becomes problematic because he finds the power of being a vampire. It's like turning all the other mob bosses. So it's like this crazy, infectious situation where she has to go and clean up her mess and then revert back and kill all these vampire mobsters so that she contains the infection.
Right.
It's one of my favorite zombie movies, vampire movies of all time. Because Marie, she's very soft-spoken. She reminds me of Natalie Portman in The Professional, where she doesn't take any joy from what she does. You know what I mean? It's just like something she has to do. You're a vampire, you got to eat. So I absolutely recommend everyone watching Innocent Blood. It's one of my favorite vampire movies of all time, and Marie is my favorite vampire of all time. She's just so relatable but terrifying. It's a really good movie.
Agreed.
My runner-up is, after watching the series and of course playing the video games, it's got to be Dracula from Castlevania.
Yeah, I would agree. Castlevania's Dracula. He's up there for me too. But you don't really get a whole lot of exposure for him a lot of times. But my God, he is so good.
Between the games, I played all the games when I was a kid, and watching the series, he's the most sympathetic vampire in the world. You totally get where he's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. And the best thing is in the games is he's not really ever dead. He just dissipates and reappears like every game, 100 years or so.
Yeah, for the next round of Belmont to give it a shot. You know.
Yeah, I mean? Like I love it how they said it in Castle Super Beast. It's like Dracula goes for a nap, wakes up, and sees another Belmont running towards him. He just goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake! Just once."
Can I get a cup of coffee before you guys start this shit up again?
Exactly.
It's a brand new Belmont with a brand new issue, and what are we? What are men? But what's that famous quote?
What are men but a pile of shame and lies, or some secret lies?
Yeah, what are men but a pile of shame and secrets? That Dracula, he's also stupid busted. He can't be killed.
The Castlevania series really makes him fun.
Yeah, man. There's this one scene where Dracula meets this current iteration of Belmont, and Dracula doesn't know who he is, but Belmont goes in and punches Dracula in the face, and Dracula looks down at him and says, "With a punch that weak, you must be a Belmont." I was like, "Yo, that's so high." I don't think
he even says that weak. It's like, you must be the Belmont now.
Yeah, he must be. Yeah, he said, "You must be the Belmont." Like, you're so garbage. I can tell your garbageness from across the eons.
Then he starts hitting him with like the sacred cross rose chain. Dracula's like, "Fuck."
Then Dracula shoots him with like a Dimitri Darkstalkers level fireball or something stupid.
Yeah, and Dracula's like, "I do not have time for this."
Dracula throws a miniature sun at Belmont. No one has to touch it. It's crazy. Anywho, that's my runner-up. Those are my vampires, and I'm sticking with it.
Now we get to the big guns. The Devil.
Number one.
Lucifer Morningstar.
Lucifer Morningstar. What is your favorite depiction of the devil? This
is a very, very small scene in a movie I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
It is Keanu Reeves' Constantine movie.
Oh, yeah.
That devil is the best portrayal of the actual devil.
Fucking Peter Stormare, dude.
Yeah. Peter Stormare, one, a good actor. Two, kills it in this scene.
He says,
from inception to execution to the end, the devil, Satan, in this movie is the best character.
He's the best. One scene, mind you, it just steals it, right?
Yeah, he does. He steals it. And even upon like the end of the scene, he decides like, yo, God's like, I'm going to take John now up to heaven because he's done his deal. And freaking the Satan is just like, no, you're going to live.
You're going to live and give me more time to cash in.
Oh my God. It's so good. And it really does portray how John Constantine would be from the comics as well, honestly.
Hellblazer, dude. Like, the devil, there's a part where the devil's like, yeah, hell is horrible, but for you, I have a whole theme park built just for you, man. Like, I've been waiting for this time for a long time, John. You're coming home, finally. Like, let's go.
So, and then I had to break it down between two things from there, though, because it kind of is a toss-up for me. So in comics, one of the better portrayals of Lucifer, I believe, is from the Sandman comics.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sandman versus Lucifer is interesting. He's tired, actually, and very flippant. So instead of ruling hell as an individual, in the comics, when you see him, Lucifer rules hell as a triumvirate, a circle of three, which is, one, an interesting portrayal of the character, and two, he decides to ruin the entire personification of Dream, decides to fuck with them and ruin his life by giving him control over hell, and Lucifer says, yo, I'm out.
Yeah.
And leaves. And that's like, leaves. That is, I think, one of the better portrayals of what Satan would actually do.
I'm tired. I didn't want this job in the first place.
And like that has repercussions across the rest of the entire universe afterwards. It does so much.
Man.
It really and I think honestly that one act sets in motion so many chains of events that it ultimately culminates in the last of the issue run, honestly.
Nice.
It's so nice. And tied with that for my runner-up is honestly how they portray Lucifer in the show Supernatural back when I still watched it.
Yeah, that was a good Lucifer.
That was a good Lucifer. The entire like story scene of Lucifer possessing the man he possessed was actually kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. But the actor pulled it off. You know what I mean? It's
been so long since I saw that.
Yeah, I remember it was a blonde. It was a guy. He had blonde hair, right?
And like there were the one
little scruffy looking.
The one scene that broke him was like seeing this crib of a baby and the baby crying constantly. He looked in and started crying himself, and he said, "I'm done. Just possess me." Yeah, I was like, "That's really nice."
Nice touches, man.
But anywho, yeah, those are my runner-ups. Those two scenes are my runner-ups. How about you, Mike?
My number one devil, and this was a hard one to figure out because there's a few devils that come to mind, and I don't want to throw anything out because I want to save it for my honorable mentions. But just pull the Band-Aid off this, and you're probably going to think I'm joking, but no, I love this portrayal of the devil. Is Elizabeth Hurley in Bedazzled?
Oh, Bedazzled, Brendan Fraser. That's a kind of fun movie, honestly.
It's a very fun movie, and you get to sit with the devil more than you usually get in film, because usually the devil comes at the very end of the movie, and he makes a big grand splash, power play, and he gets sent back down, right? Whereas Elizabeth Hurley's portrayal, though it's played for laughs, this is a comedy.
It's very charismatic finality, kind of a feel to it.
Yes, she's like, yes, I am the devil. You are. I want your soul right now. So I'm going to give you 7 wishes, whatever you want. Here's the fine print, but by the time you're done, your soul belongs to me. You know. So Brendan Fraser goes through the ringer, and he's trying to win the heart of this woman that he's infatuated with. But at the beginning of the film, Brendan Fraser is
kind of a
loser, wallflower kind of guy, right? But he finds confidence through his adventure with the devil, right? And Elizabeth Hurley plays it very tongue-in-cheek, almost Bayonetta-ish in a weird way. You know what I mean? Very powerful. There's even a scene where she's like, you don't look like the devil. You're a beautiful woman. He's like, would you prefer this? And she snaps her fingers. It turns into Lucifer with the, from like Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
The cape and the horns and the pitchfork. But I like this portrayal a lot because you kind of get more of the internal struggle of the devil kind of like having to run hell like a business, going back to what you were talking about with Lucifer in the Sandman series. Like, it must be very exhausting being the devil, right?
And I remember that movie really well because the ending is really fun. How like at the very end, you see the devil and basically God just having a small chat and kind of being pleasant with each other. It's like, oh, this is just how we do things.
Yeah, this is just how things operate. You chose wisely, Brendan Fraser. You get to live your life. You get to live a better life than you thought you wanted. You know what I mean? And he learned a lesson that, through faith, all that good stuff. But like at the end of the movie, like God and the devil in a coffee shop talking about, oh, I missed this one. I'll get the next one though. That kind of thing. And I just really think it's cute. I think it's a very interesting, non-typical take on Satan. And my runner-up, which is a very typical take on Satan, on the devil, and like yours, it's only for a scene, and it's in the prophecy with Satan comes down to try to take the soul of the main character, and it's played by the guy from Lord of the Rings. Help me with his name.
Hugo Weaving?
Not Hugo Weaving. Aragorn.
Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen, thank you. Viggo Mortensen plays the devil in a split second, because the whole movie's about Christopher Walken's Gabriel trying to. It's pretty much the origin of Spawn. He finds the most gnarliest soul on Earth. He tries to recruit him into his army to overthrow heaven. And at the very end of the movie, Gabriel sent back to heaven, and his physical form is destroyed. But Lucifer comes down to take the champion, and he plays it so straight and so terrifying and whispering things in his ear, and he just doesn't have it because, he just defeated him through the power of God or whatever, But that portrayal of Satan is just was so stark for me as a kid.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Whispers, I love you more than Jesus. Like little things like that. And you see, and the only time you see a monster in this whole movie is one of Satan's underlings. It's just in the corner somewhere. And it's like this demon. It's like a legit demon there. And this whole movie, it's just been Christopher Walken in a black suit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some eye contacts. That's it. You never see anything crazy until Lucifer comes, and he has like a little henchman demon that's full body prosthetic, right? It's like, holy shit, like no games played, So that's my honorable mention. And I guess another honorable mention would be not Al Pacino, but Robert De Niro in Angel Heart. He plays Louis Cypher.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh man, it has Mickey Rourke, Lisa Bonet, and Robert De Niro as Satan. It's very good. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil the movie. Very intense. Watch a movie called Angel Heart. Very cool portrayal of the devil in that.
Fair enough.
Dude, we ran through some very good characters today.
Oh yeah. Honestly, it just kind of fits as a closing little segment to Halloween month.
So if you've never seen any of the films we've mentioned during this top 10, definitely check them out. We've dropped some really good source material, from Hellsing to my personal pick, Innocent Blood, to Reanimator, you know what I mean? So definitely check out some of our picks if you've never seen them before. And, and just better educate yourself on horror. It's a beautiful genre. This is the time of year where we celebrate it. And these are our top 10 monsters of all time. Where can we find you, Austin?
You can find me online at austinaussie.com. No, Austin Aussie on Twitter. That's what it is.
AussieAustin.org, Doug.
Exactly.
.gov. You can also find this podcast, if you like this content, on our website, which is mastersofthenerdiversecast.com, where we have all of our episodes archived. We have a ton of horror stuff that you can listen to and have at your disposal. You can also support us monetarily by visiting our Patreon, which is patreon.com/MOTN. And with $1 a day, it keeps the mind goblins away, is how I look at things. But if you want to support us non-monetarily, you can always do so by liking our content, by subscribing to our channels, and by commenting on our posts, because feedback's important. What monsters did we miss? What genres did we miss? I try to curate this list as cliche as possible, so I'm not going to have favorite toxic waste monster. I don't want to get that specific. But Was there any choices that you want to bring to us? Let us know. Jump on our Twitter at mnerdiverse. Who's your favorite vampire? Who's your favorite alien? Who's your favorite zombie? We'd love to hear it. And if this is your first time listening to the episode, I would like to say hello and welcome you to the Nerdiverse. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G.
I've been Austin.
And we will always ask you to look towards the skies. Look towards those schemes.